Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
Ebony allegedly bows to Queen Naomi in front of everybody in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. You have won, take your trophy. They say she tried to hold Naomi's hands to pray. You know those kind of prayers to say, I've got nothing against you. My hands are clean. I'm done fighting with you. Take your trophy. You put up a good fight. Congratulations. All of those kind of nonsense. That was what they said she was trying to do. But Olori Naomi pushed her hands away. And Olori Naomi, as in, fled up in serious rage against Ebony. They said Ebony has finally reached a point where she could no longer deny reality. In the palace of the Ooni of Ife, after months of tension, quiet rivalry and unspoken battles, she openly bowed before Queen Naomi for the very first time. Ebony admitted that Queen Naomi had won. She said it directly, almost bitterly, but also with a tone of surrender. You have won. Take your trophy. Those words carry the weight of everything that has happened in the palace since Queen Naomi stepped back into the life of the Ooni of Ife. For a long time, Ebony had positioned herself as one of the strongest voices against Naomi's relevance in the palace. We are all aware of that, the gbas here and there and everything. Whenever Naomi came around, she either created a scene or found a way to indirectly undermine her presence. She had thought that Naomi would never return. When Naomi went out of the palace with the circumstances for which Naomi left, she was very happy because she thought that with the way Naomi left, nothing in this world will make Kabiyesi return back to Olori Naomi, not with all the resistance. The elders have always been there resisting Olori Naomi's return and all of that. But, when God is in a situation, there's nothing anybody can do about it. And that is exactly what happened with Ebony. There were days where she tried to use silence as a weapon, pretending Naomi's presence did not matter, and other days when she used loud confrontation to push her away. But what Ebony didn't realize until recently was that all her efforts are beginning to backfire. The palace staff, the chief, and even the Yoruba elders who observed what was happening knew one thing: no matter how long it took, the bond between the Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi was different. It has always been different. It is not like what he shared with other of his Oloris. Naomi had something far deeper, a spiritual connection, a covenant, and a place in Kabiyesi's heart. And, that is a place that can never be replaced by anybody. And the more Ebony fought, the more isolated she became in her struggle. Now, they said Ebony decided she was done fighting. She went to Queen Naomi. Now, what happened is that, with this drama that has been happening between Ooni of Ife and the Alaafin of Oyo, the drama that the Alaafin of Oyo actually started. And, it's been making the rounds on social media everywhere. People in the diaspora and all of that, people have been calling and everywhere. So Naomi decided to go and meet with the Ooni of Ife in the palace to go and see her husband and see how Kabiyesi was faring. As we heard, when she got to the palace, they said that was when Ebony went, to go and confront Olori Naomi. She went to Queen Naomi, and in front of others, she reached out her hands, wanting to hold Naomi's hands in what she described as a prayer moment. Her words were simple. She said she wanted to pray that Naomi would hold nothing against her. She admitted she had said things, done things, and taken steps that were hurtful, but now she wanted peace. She said she didn't want her destiny to be tied to bitterness or rivalry. She told Naomi plainly, please hold nothing against me, because right now I hold absolutely nothing against you. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dela Ram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the source still on the Royals. How are you guys doing, Dela Right? We're approaching weekends. I like to say happy weekends to all of you. Now, sorry about my voice, okay? They're frying something in my house, and that thing has really messed my throat and everything up, okay? I'm not asthmatic though, but it's spicy, all right? Okay, so I love you guys. Please, if you're here and you're yet to subscribe, kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. So they said when Ebony reached out for Naomi's hands, Instead of Naomi to soften up, Naomi responded with something nobody expected. Naomi pulled back in rage. She exploded with emotion she had been bottling for years. To Naomi, Ebony's gesture was not genuine. It was a moment of reconciliation. It was a display of defeat disguised as humility. Naomi saw through it immediately. She told Ebony clearly that peace could not be forced and it could not come through empty gesture after months of humiliation, years of humiliation. Queen Naomi said, Ebony had disrespected her in ways that cut deeply. She reminded her that when she came to the palace with a genuine heart, Ebony made her feel unwelcome, mocked her, and worked with others to push her aside. They said, Olori Naomi said, the problem is not simply what Ebony did to her as a woman, but that what Ebony did to the institution of the throne itself. She told her that by standing against her, Ebony was indirectly standing against the will of the ancestors because her place beside the Ooni of Ife is not something given by man. It is spiritual. It was ordained and no amount of gossip or rivalry could erase it. So Ebony needs to get that straight. Because if she's still living in that, deception, okay, being deceived by whoever is deceiving her, Ebony needs to know that there's nothing in this world that she, like Ebony, can do that can erase her place with the Ooni of Ife. They said the more Naomi spoke, the more the palace became silent. People expected her to simply brush Ebony's gesture aside politely, but instead, she allowed her true emotion to command. She said forgiveness is powerful, but it cannot be demanded. It must be earned through truth and repentance. She said Ebony only came to ask for peace because she had lost in the struggle for attention and relevance, not because her heart had truly changed. That Ebony can never, ever change. She made it very clear to Ebony. Naomi also said something that shook Ebony. She told her that she was not the one who needed to forgive because the palace itself and the Yoruba people are witnesses to the division that had been caused. Naomi said, you did not only offend me, you offended this throne. You offended the elders who watched you try to reduce what was sacred. You offended the children who looked up to the palace and expected unity, but instead saw rivalry. So don't think that just holding my hands for prayer will erase everything. It will not, and you have no right to ever, ever touch me again. Don't you ever try it again. The next time you try this, do not say I did not tell you. Don't. You cannot just walk to me and you want to hold from where, as how, where did it even start? They say Ebony was there dumbfounded. She didn't know what to say. So Ebony stood there shaken. She had expected to at least acknowledge the gesture. Okay. She expected that Naomi will acknowledge the gesture, maybe smile, maybe agree to the prayer, but instead she got Naomi's unfiltered truth. Naomi was not rude, but she was firm, emotional, and very clear. She said reconciliation cannot happen in the palace through empty performance. It has to be real and it has to start with accountability. At that point, it was clear that Ebony had no words left. Her attempt at surrender was genuine in some ways, but it came too late. Naomi's response showed that the wounds ran deeper than Ebony can ever imagine. To many who watched, Naomi's explosion was not out of hatred, but out of a refusal to accept cheap peace. She wanted a peace built on respect, truth, and genuine acceptance of her role, not a momentary performance because Ebony had realized she could no longer fight. This is what we are hearing. If the information is correct, I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.